All right, welcome everybody. Tonight's Committee of the Whole on Tuesday, September 2nd. It is 6:30 p.m. Can I get a roll call?
Finkler.
Here.
Hammer.
Here.
Lawson.
Here.
Meyer.
Here.
Reed. Here. Brelke. Here. Rostad.
Here.
Acknowledge this meeting was posted and noticed according to law.
All right, I'll look for approval of tonight's agenda.
So move. Second.
All right, we got a first from Alder Rostad and a second from Alder Meyer. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Agenda approved. Any public comment?
There is not.
All right, new business. Discussion and consideration of an encroachment agreement between the City of Columbus and Keith and Andrea Lopnow. Is that you, Mike?
Yes. The Lopnows are working on a building restoration at the corner of Mill and in North Dickinson. And they would like to add a second door that's similar to the door that was there originally. It's a unique building in that the main floor is about 2 feet above the right-of-way sidewalk. So really the only way to get in the Dickinson side of the building is with steps that are in the right-of-way. There currently are a set of steps at the one entrance that extend 4 feet into the right-of-way. It's a large right-of-way. The distance from the building to the curb is 19 feet, so there's plenty of room there. This other entrance would help with the marketing and development of that property. So there's a second set of stairs at the new entrance that they're proposing. And this encroachment agreement would give them the ability to have those steps there until there's like more than 50% of the building has been like destroyed in a storm, and then at that point they would have to move the steps, on when they're doing a significant like rebuilding of the whole building to move that in there. So this gives a temporary access for those steps in the city right away. And I don't see any other way that they can get into the front of their building without those steps there. And those first set of steps have been there likely over 100 years. When was the building built?
1901.
So, yeah. So it's been there a long time, and this is just replicating what historically has been there and making it all formal and good between the city and the Lopnows.
Any discussion? We good moving forward? All right. Next, discussion regarding an ordinance to repeal and recreate provisions of section 86-191 of the City Code of Ordinances concerning requirements for driveways.
We've had some recent conversations amongst staff, and this is recommended attempt to clean up the ordinance. It establishes a date that driveways had to be something other than gravel, because that was undefined in the current ordinance. Minor change of building inspector to director of public works. It changes to allow one driveway on a single family residential lot and 2 driveways on a multifamily lot. There's currently a 200-foot rule that would allow more than one driveway, which leads to a lot of confusion and lack of there's very few properties that have 200 feet of frontage to have more than one driveway. It allows for consistency with commercial industrial lots, except that 2 driveways are allowed on commercial and industrial. And it allows that Plan Commission can grant waivers to the requirements of this section, and that they'd be the final decision maker in this regard. The Plan Commission can require the applicant for a waiver and submit an engineered plan if it so chooses. It's discretionary and not mandatory for the Plan Commission. So I can answer any further questions on this or clarify anything further.
Alder Lawson?
So if someone has a circular drive, is that considered 2 driveways because there's 2 entrances?
That is a really good question that I don't think we contemplated in looking at this. So that may be something that we need to go back further and have further discussion on.
And then I would imagine that in those kind of cases, they could get a waiver still, no matter what the answer is.
Correct, and I don't think, I know the kind of drive you're envisioning, and our issue wasn't to address that. We have some properties that have current multiple driveways. And the idea is that if they want to go, the plan would be for them to have, they could continue to have both driveways. They need to go to Plan Commission and go through that waiver process. But the circular drive, that's kind of based on the functionality of having both of them. So I know that Paul didn't contemplate that as he drafted this. So it's something we probably need to look at, unless Mike has anything further to say on the issue.
I mean, one option would just to make that an option without going to the Plan Commission, or just let the Plan Commission handle that through a waiver. Those are a couple options. I don't know how common circular drives are. So.
We have a couple of corner lots that I'm aware of that have that type of driveway.
Alder Rostad?
Section 1, what's the significance behind January 1 of '04?
Paul believed that the ordinance went into place to have driveways, not allow gravel driveways sometime in 2004. So he picked January 1st just as the date.
And then Section 2, it says, without obtaining a permit from the Director of Public Works, but then the memo, it's changed the building inspector to the Director of Public Works. Do we want to put or add in or designee, or do we just want to leave it Public Works Director?
I think that's a good question to pose to Paul, because we've added the designee in other ordinances.
And I believe that's all I had. Thank you.
Alder Meyer?
I have no concerns with any of it other than what Michael brought up. I'm in favor of sending this back, getting the clarification from Paul, and then bringing it back without any red lines.
All right. Any other discussion, or is everybody good sending, Mayor?
I would concur with Marcus about sending
Okay.
it back.
Anybody have any concerns with sending it back? All right. Next, discussion of approval of job description for utility director and authorization to fill vacancy.
We've made some really minor adjustments to the job description, and again, want to move forward with getting this advertised, and happy to answer any questions.
Any discussion, or are we good moving this forward? All right. Next, we're going to convene to close session pursuant to 19-851C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data for any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. Columbus Police Local WPPA number 237 negotiations.
I'll move to convene to closed session per 19.851C.
I have a first from Alder Roelke and a second from Alder Reed. Any discussion? Roll call?
Meyer,
Aye.
Rostad,
Aye.
Lawson,
Aye.
Relke,
Aye.
Finkler,
Aye.
Hammer,
Aye.
Reed. Aye. Ayes have it.
And we will reconvene to open session.
I'd ask that you invite Dennis to stay for this.
I suppose.
Favor?
Aye. And I will also make a motion to adjourn.
We just need David.
Oh, yeah, we have to
Oh.
wait for David.
Okay.
Good call. All right, welcome back to open session of the Committee of the Whole meeting, and I will look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We have first from Alder Rolke and a second by Alder Lawson. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's Common Council regular meeting, and welcome to those that are watching via the cable channel. And could I have a roll call, please?
Finkler.
Here.
Hammer.
Here.
Lawson.
Here.
Meyer.
Here.
Reed.
Here.
Relke.
Here.
Rostad.
Here.
If you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I acknowledge this meeting was posted and noticed according to law.
Okay, thank you. And I would look for a motion to approve tonight's agenda with the removal of item number 4, which will be sent back for updating.
So move with the suggested removal.
Second.
Okay, motion by Alder Meyer, second by Alder Finkler. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public comment? None, thank you. In the packet, you have committee minutes for file, which the CAAC from May 28th of 2025, CAAC from June 25th of 2025, CDA from June 16th of 2025 and July 21st of 2025 and August 18th of 2025. HLPC Rest Haven Subcommittee of June 23rd, 2025. HLPC Regular of 6/25/25. Plan Commission of July 10th, 2025. Recreation of July 14th of 2025. And Tourism of June 30th of 2025. Next would be to approval of the consent agenda, which is Committee of the Whole, Common Council and Council Workshop of August 19th of 2025.
I'll move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, motion by Alder Meyer, second by Alder Rolke to approve consent agenda. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next would be to consider and take action on Ordinance 809-25, an ordinance to repeal and recreate Section 11495 of the City Code of Ordinances concerning outdoor storage of vehicles. First, I would look for a motion to suspend the rules.
Move to suspend the rules.
Second.
It's a motion by Alder Finkler, second by Alder Meyer. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next would be to waive the reading.
Move to waive the reading.
Second.
Okay, motion by Alder Finkler, second by Alder Meyer. Any discussion on this? Okay, then next would be to consider and take action on the ordinance of 809 Oh, yeah, sorry, on the waiving of the readings. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. Then next would be to approve ordinance 809-25, and ordinance to repeal and recreate section 11495 of the City Code of Ordinances concerning outdoor storage of vehicles.
I'll move to approve ordinance 809-25 for the City Code of Ordinances concerning outdoor storage of vehicles with the addition of motorhomes being added to the list. Mike, do you know which section that is? Number 4.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Alder Finkler, second by Alder Rolke. Discussion? Okay, Alder Lawson?
There's a number 5 in here that appears to be blank that should be removed. And then the question under number 4. So it says recreational vehicles, but then it points out specific types of recreational vehicles like travel trailers, boats, etc., watercraft. And then says said vehicles shall only be parked in rear, however said vehicles, blah, blah, blah. Then it goes back to recreational vehicles includes, and it does include other types. So it's not clear that those other types could be included in the only parked in the rear unless it's on a paved driveway, the way it's written. Is that the intent? And if so, do we need to rewrite it?
If that's not clear, I guess, to the city council, we can go back and rewrite it.
What's not, I guess, what part is
Yeah.
not clear again? Can you repeat that?
So it starts out talking about specific types of recreational vehicles and specifics for those, like travel trailers, watercraft, right? And pop-up campers.
Just, that's just length.
And then it says said vehicles, so the ones you just described, right? Said vehicles shall only be parked in the rear yards and side yards of the parcel. However, said vehicles may be parked on a paved driveway in the front yard. So all that to me applies to just those that were just spoken of, right? Because it says said vehicles. Then it defines recreational vehicles as including ATVs, UTVs, snowmobiles, etc. So should that statement be up front so that it is included in the said vehicle statements?
Yeah, I understand where you come from now. I think the thinking on this is that the section, the subtitle of the section is recreational vehicles. So I think the thought process is there is that it's adding to that definition for all recreational vehicles in that section.
Yeah, during discussion in Plan Commission, it was the upper part didn't really cover the ones that, for the last sentence, so that was adding on to the previous travel trailers and watercrafts and such, because now we have ATVs and UTVs, and it was adding that. The other thought is we are making these changes mostly to clarify these additional vehicles are added, and then also just to be able to be parked in driveways. And any tweaking of the wording is going to be done by the professionals during the zoning rewrite.
But we're rewriting this one now, right?
It's a temporary it's just to include, to make sure that people are allowed to park within their driveways, and the zoning rewrite has not happened yet. So they're not just gonna skip this during the zoning rewrite, they're going to, the professionals are gonna bring it up to industry standard.
So then I'd suggest where it says said vehicles, just replace the word said with recreational vehicles, because then you're defining recreational vehicles at the end. Then it includes it.
I don't disagree. I mean, I think we could just, it's one word, I think we can amend a motion and move forward with it.
All right,
Alder Brosted?
Under 4, so you can have all of them in your paved driveway, correct? If you, as long as you meet all them requirements, you can have every one. But we're only allowed one vehicle on an unpaved, an automotive, per paragraph 1.
yeah, driveways
Yeah.
are required to be paved.
Only after 04. 2004. Is a paved driveway.
Right, but it says right in here under 4, vehicles may be parked on a paved driveway in the front yard. So if you don't have a paved driveway in the front yard, you can not park that on there.
Plus, number 1 is automobiles, number,
We didn't make any changes to 1.
right. And the other is regarding recreational vehicles, so two
The
different.
only changes to this in front of you is the last 2 sentences of number 4.
And the proposal is to move, to approve this with adding motor vehicles and then moving that last sentence up to the beginning. Is that the
Or
suggestion?
just change the word
Said
in
vehicles
those 2
to-
vehicles to recreational vehicles.
Okay. Okay, perfect. All right, I will amend my motion to to change said vehicles to recreational vehicles in number 4.
Second.
Okay, amended motion by Alder Finkler, second by Alder Meyer. Any other further discussion?
Question, are we still going to have the addition of the motorhomes being added to the list?
Yes. Do I need to amend it and include that too?
You should restate
Okay.
your.
So I'm going to do a final amendment to change,
State your motion the way you want it.
okay. Change said vehicles to recreational vehicles and add motorhomes to an example of a recreational vehicle.
Second.
You got that? Okay.
Third time's a charm.
Any other discussion? None? Chief Weiner, do you have an opinion on this particular?
I think that it's some cleanup that was necessarily needed. I mean, I have some concerns about 35-foot long boats and travel trailers.
Yeah.
That's pretty long, but, you know, it just goes whatever's good.
Okay, well, then no other discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Thank you. No, right. Okay, now, under new business is to consider and take action on the approval of up to $18,917.92 for the Community Development Authority's facade grant for MP's Town Tap for tuck pointing. And this was covered at the CDA with the recommendation. Because it's over the amount of 10,000, this council needs to approve it.
I will move to approve up to $18,917.92 for MP Town Tap for the tuck pointing facade grant.
Second.
Okay, motion by Alder Meyer, second by Alder Rostedt. Any further discussion on this item? Alder Rostedt, do you have a?
So reading through it, it says to not negatively impact the budget. So I'm assuming the 18,917.92 is all that's left in the facade grant.
I think
Kitty?
it's a tiny bit more, but we tried to go to the max with the approval.
Okay.
Well, this
So-
was what was left after we approved the second facade grant that night. That brought us, correct.
Yeah.
So this was the second one that we approved. The first one that we approved is well under the limit to come here. And this was the remaining balance in the facade grant budget for the year.
So now the facade grant's at 0 after approval tonight. So anyone that wants to come, is there rules that you're only allowed one a year? Okay. Thank you.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, could we have a roll call, please?
Lawson,
Aye.
Finkler,
Aye.
Meyer,
Aye.
Relke. Aye. Reed.
Aye.
Rostad.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
All right, then next on the agenda would be to take action regarding a conditional use permit for outdoor storage at 277 Industrial Drive. That is the old bowling alley, which is now currently Corn Main. This again is a recommendation of Plan Commission approving this with the conditions that are stated being met.
I'll move to approve the conditional use permit for outdoor storage at 277 Industrial Drive, Corn, Maine, per the Planning Commission's conditional is met.
Second.
Okay, motion by Alder Meyer, second by Alder Rolke. Further discussion on this? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, then next would be to consider and take action to authorize city administrator to approve the purchase of police equipment up to $20,000 when LISO funds are available for the purchase.
I'll move to approve the authorization of the purchase of police equipment up to $20,000 when LISO funds are available for purchase. That authorizes the city administrator to approve.
Reed seconds.
Okay, motion by Alder Finkler, second by Alder Reed. Any further discussion on this item? Alder Rustin?
So it says 20 in our thing, but In Chief Weiner's thing, it says the city administrator limit is up to 25.
Correct. The purchasing policy of this city allows me to approve anything up to $25,000 provided it's budgeted for. Because the LISO funds are not budgeted, we wanted to come to council to get authorization to do this. We will not spend more than $20,000 on a used squad car, is kind of the understanding that Chief and I have discussed, so that's why we set the limit here at 20,000.
Thank you.
Any further? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Finkler.
Aye.
Lawson.
Aye.
Meyer.
No.
Reed. Aye. Rostad.
Aye.
Relke. Aye. 5 yeas, 1 nay.
Thank you. And then next would be to consider and take action on the encroachment agreement between the City of Columbus and Keith and Andrea Lepnow, as what was discussed earlier in the evening.
Move to approve the encroachment agreement between the City of Columbus and Keith and Andrea Lotno.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Alder Relke, second by Alder Finkler. Any further discussion on this item? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Then next would be to consider and take action on the approval of the job description for utility director and authorization to fill the vacancy.
I'll move to approve the job description and authorization to fill vacancy.
Second.
Okay, motion by Alder Finkler, second by Alder Rosted. Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Back to the LISO. Number 7. It says, we talked about it in the cow tonight, and there's nothing on the cow agenda.
Yeah, that's actually.
That was a typo. I
Okay.
apologize, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Then next would be to consider and take action on the claims in the amount of $591,841.04.
Move to approve the claims in the amount of $591,841.04.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Alder Meyer, second by Alder Rolke. Discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Lawson.
Aye.
Rostad.
Aye.
Meyer.
Aye.
Relke.
Aye.
Finkler.
Aye.
Reed. Aye. Ayes have it.
Okay, thank you. Then next would be item number 11, which is to convene to close session per 19.851E, deliberating or negotiating the purchase of public property, the investment of public funds, or conducting other public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session, specifically to discuss proposals received for the design of the public safety building.
So move.
Second.
Okay, motion by Alder Rosted, second by Alder Meyer. Discussion? Roll call?
Reed. Aye. Lawson.
Aye.
Meyer.
Aye.
Finkler.
Aye.
Rostad.
Aye.
Relke. Aye. Ayes have it.
Okay, we are in closed session.
Move to reconvene to open session.
Number 12 on the agenda would be to consider and take action on an award of design services for the public safety building.
I will move to direct staff, I'll make a motion to direct staff to work with, what was it,
Axiom.
Axios?
Axiom.
Axiom, sorry, Axiom, to work out a contract for design services regarding the public safety building.
Second.
Motion by Alder Meyer, second by Alder Roscoe. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I'd just say, today marked the return of the school year here in the community, and reminder of drivers being aware of pedestrians, school buses, yielding in crosswalks, all the good reminders of that the school year reminds us of things we should do year round. But it's a good note on the start of the school year, and wishing all of our educators and families a safe return to school.
Stole my bubble. Thank you. Also, welcome to a new Maintenance 2 position worker today at DPW. What is the fellow's name? Colin. So, welcome, Colin. So with that, I'd look for a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, motion by Alder Finkler, second by Alder Rolke. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
We stand adjourned. All right, one to go. Anybody need to take a break?